Hey everybody, I just wanted to make another video. It's hard to believe, but on December 1st, we will have been offering veterinary medical manipulation or chiropractic for 5 months. It seems like I just started my certification yesterday, and it's hard to really believe that we've been doing it for 5 months now. So I wanted to make a video and just share some things that I have learned over the last 5 months about veterinary medical manipulation that were a little bit surprising to me, and I think may be surprising to you as well. The first is older patients. So I kind of been back and forth with this. When I first started, I thought, all of my patients are older. This is going to be a great addition to the practice, and all of my older patients are going to do fantastic with it. And then I got home and I started to try to do manipulations on Nina, and realized very, very quickly that she would not tolerate it. So I really started to shy away from my older patients and adjusting them, and really stuck with the acupuncture for them as I was growing my skill set, I guess, after my certification. And then I started to try it on a couple older dogs. And what I have found is that older dogs really do well with it if they tolerate it. So while I do think that older dogs do great with it, they have to tolerate it first. And some of them are just too achy and too arthritic for them to tolerate it in the first place. So just because your pet is old doesn't mean they cannot have it done. But also just because your pet is old doesn't mean that they can have it done either. So it really is an individual basis on our older babies. So the second thing that I've learned over the last 5 months is that it is almost instantaneously that your pet feels better. I have had so many of them that when they come in for their first appointment and we follow up with them afterwards, for clients to say, oh my gosh, they jumped in the car better than they have before. As soon as they got home, they started playing with toys. They were playing with their housemate more than they have in the last X number of days or weeks or months. And so it really is amazing to see such instant results. With acupuncture, it can take 3 or 4 weeks or 3 or 4 treatments, depending on how far the treatments are spaced out. And while I still love acupuncture, and I still think that that is the bread and butter of what we will do here in this practice, it is so refreshing to see a modality that shows instant results when your pet starts to feel better instantly after the treatment. Now, I will say I've had patients where we have adjusted them. There has been no improvement afterwards. And that to me is a diagnostic tool. That means that veterinary medical manipulation and chiropractic may not be the best option for them. And then therefore we then turn them into acupuncture client or acupuncture patients. And then we move forward with that treatment to help them feel better. So I do love that it is instant for those patients of mine who just instantly feel better. But I also love the diagnostic part of it too, that shows me this is not a restriction problem. This may be something else that we need to address with acupuncture instead. And then the third and final thing that I have learned is that each time an animal comes in, I'm finding similar amounts of restrictions until their 3rd or 4th treatment. And then I'm finding less, which is great, which means that it's holding and their bodies are staying in the typical range of motion and they're not being restricted. So then those patients are coming in a little bit less frequent. So I like to start them out monthly, have them come in, we do an evaluation, we adjust them and manipulate them and get the restrictions removed. We have them come back in a month. And a lot of times I'm finding very similar restrictions the first time as I did, or the second time as I did the first time. Then with each consecutive treatment, I might be finding a little bit less. And so I don't think that this is going to be a monthly treatment for the rest of your pet's life. I think it may be monthly for the first couple treatments, maybe 3 or 4 treatments. And then after that, as we're finding fewer and fewer and fewer restrictions, they won't have to come in as often. So I really like the idea of that as well, that I like the tailoring it to each pet like we do with the acupuncture. I like that they don't have to come in as often the more they have it done at the beginning, which is very similar to our acupuncture treatments as well. But it wasn't something that I thought of when I first started the training. I thought, well, it's going to be monthly while they're in training or while they're in agility or while they're in fast cat or these older babies. We're not going to be able to get them coming in less frequently. And we actually can. So I think that that's really, really neat. So those are the top 3 things that I've learned in the last 5 months while practicing veterinary medical manipulation on my patients. I'm curious if you are a patient of mine, is there something that you have learned that you thought was really neat? If you are not a client of ours, other questions that you have that I can then answer. Looking forward to hear from you guys. Thanks so much. Bye.